Hi guys, I'm going to recap a 2005 drama crime movie called Havoc. This film tells the story of a teenage girl searching for her identity in an elite Los Angeles neighborhood. She and her friends like hip-hop and apply it in their lives. One day, she and one of her friends try to challenge their fear by joining a roadside gang familiar with crime and its nightlife. But there is one condition they must fulfill to join the gang. The condition is having lovemaking with the gang's leader and its members. Will they fulfill these conditions? Let's find out together. A girl named Allison is telling her life in front of the camera. She and her friends made a documentary about their lives. Allison and her friends are a group of young people from wealthy families looking for their identities. They choose hip-hop as a lifestyle that they adopt. At that time, hip-hop was famous for its lively parties, followed by drinking and using illegal drugs. Other hip-hop groups in there don't like Allison and her friends. Until they get involved in a feud, Allison's group wins it. Immediately the commotion ends with the arrival of the officers. At night, Eric, a cameraman, throws a party at his house. Allison is seen with her boyfriend, Toby, who is attending the party. Not to forget that Emily, Allison's best friend, also comes to the venue. Allison and Toby get back in the car to make out, even though they have only been with the group for a while. They undress each other and do hot scenes late into the night. On the other hand, Eric, always on standby with his camera, records Emily's chat telling Allison's life. Allison is a lonely child because her family is busy minding their business. Therefore, Allison seeks attention by hanging out with her boyfriend and best friend. Coming home from the party, Allison sleeps over at Emily's house. The following day, Allison returns to her eerily quiet home. She looks gloomy because her parents go to work and only find a note in front of the fridge. Her family life is inversely proportional to Emily's family, who looks cheerful and solid. At noon, Allison meets her father for lunch at his office. Her father asks Allison for her opinion on his married life. Allison firmly says to stay in the relationship and go for marriage counseling. Since they seldom talk together, they seem very awkward and can't develop their conversation. To relieve her stress, Allison, Toby, Emily, and her boyfriend, Sam, head to the suburbs to enjoy the nightlife. Their trip there was not just for fun but to buy drugs they would enjoy together. They arrive at a small alley where many people have gathered. One of them, named Hector, approached their car. Hector seems to understand what the teenagers want. In a short time, there is a process of buying and selling drugs between Toby and Hector. However, Toby feels something is wrong with the item Hector gave him. The item needs to be following the proper measure. Even though Toby feels he has spent a lot of money on this item. Fearlessly he approaches Hector and complains about the item he has just been given. But Hector is not a seller who listens to the criticism of his buyers. He pulls out a gun and points it at Toby's head. Toby, who is just reckless, could only surrender and cry when treated like that. Allison walks up to them and begs Hector to let her boyfriend go. Toby is released, and they quickly leave the place. The next day, Toby tells Allison that he is fine and will return to Hector's place to give his revenge. Allison knows that Toby is lying but still forbids it and asks her boyfriend to forget everything. At a bar, Emily and her two friends laugh when they see Allison flirting with a wealthy older man. After that, Allison and her friends enjoy drugs together in the toilet. Their adventure does not stop there. They are determined to go to Hector's place again just for fun. Even though he is cynical about Allison's arrival, Hector and his gang have sharp instincts for these beautiful and sexy girls. Without further ado, Hector invites them to join and enliven their party. Allison and her best friend quickly adapt to the crowd at the party. They begin to separate and seek pleasure from each other. The girls say goodbye to Hector not long after as Emily begins to spiral out of control. Before leaving, Hector invites Allison to his private party at a hotel. Allison could only smile shyly and quickly left Hector. In the morning, Allison is visited by Eric, who wants to interview her. Allison tells her life in front of the camera. Then she is challenged to seduce Eric, an innovative and quiet teenager. She poses sexy in front of Eric's camera and shows her sensitive areas. But it seems Eric is a strong man to hold back his lust. He firmly rejects Allison's incitement and says that Allison is so lonely that she is determined to find love from just anyone. Eric's words seem to make Allison overthink. Dressed in a hip-hop style, she comes to the suburbs for a walk. Whether on purpose or not, she meets Hector, who is also touring the area at the time. They talk about Hector's dark life there. It is getting late, and Hector continues their conversation about the area where he lives, which various groups always visit to buy drugs. Suddenly a police car comes to check the place. Hector's friend gets caught carrying drugs. Meanwhile, Allison, who is underage, is finally taken to the police station to provide information. At the police station, she is locked up with several other women who were also questioned by the police. Allison is finally released by the police, thanks to her parents, who had freed her. After returning home, Allison's father scolds her for going to a dirty place. Her father is disillusioned by what Allison has done. But Allison reasons she is bored with her current life, so she is determined to walk alone in the suburbs. She blamed her parents, who were rarely present for her. The next day, Allison runs into her friends, who wonder why the police arrest her. He also meets Toby, but she ignores him and passes them by. Allison is again interviewed by Eric and tells him about her relationship with Toby. She feels that her relationship with that man is just a loveless game. The next night, Allison is staying at Emily's house. They express their intention to return to visit the suburbs tomorrow because they feel challenged. The next day, Hector is visiting his friend, who is imprisoned. Then he comes home and attends a big family party. Hector's life in the family environment looks so typical, like other people. He makes time to be with his family, which is very different from his nightlife. Suddenly he sees Allison and Emily, who had come to meet him. Hector, shocked, immediately approaches them and makes an appointment that night. Long story short, they end up at a motel where Hector and his gang often party. The easygoing personalities of the two girls make it easy for them to blend in with the people there. Surprisingly, Allison and Emily reveal their intention to join Hector's group. Hector's friends are shocked when they hear this, because no girl from a wealthy family background like them would want to join them. After all, they are a group that committed many crimes. But they see something profitable that could be taken from the two girls. They finally give the girls the condition to join. Allison and Emily have to sleep with them. And the number of men they have to sleep with will be determined by the number of dice that come out. Surprisingly, the two girls look brave in the conditions put forward. Allison is lucky enough that the dice she rolls show number 1. Without hesitation, Allison appoints Hector as her playmate. Meanwhile, Emily rolls dice number 3. But she doesn't seem to mind the outcome. Allison and Emily begin their quest to become Hector's members in the same room. In the middle of Hector's kiss, doubt comes to Allison's mind. She is afraid that something terrible might happen to her and Emily. She begs Hector to stop what he is doing and asks Emily to leave. But Emily refuses to go and insists on continuing her game. She even invites an annoyed Hector to have fun with her. Hector joins in and asks his members to kick Allison out of the room for being a bother. Allison can only wait for their game to finish with anxiety for her friend. Emily then continues her game with 3 people at once. But in the middle of the game, Emily groans in pain and asks them to stop because the 3 men's game is too rough. Allison, who heard screams, rushes back to the room and helps Emily. Hector and his friends come out of the room, scolding them because Hector is confused about what the 2 women want. After that, Allison and Emily return to their respective homes. The next day, Emily is nowhere to be seen on campus. Because Emily doesn't answer her phone, Allison takes the initiative to go to Hector's headquarters. She asks for an explanation about what they had done to Emily last night. But this effort is useless because they only argue about who is wrong then. At the police station, it turns out that Emily and her family reported Hector for sexual harassment last night. News of what happened at the motel reaches Toby. He goes straight to Allison and corners her. Allison, who is in a lousy mood, seems irritated by Toby's accusation. An annoyed Toby says that Allison has been kicked out of his hip-hop group. The police ask Allison for information about her reports. She confesses to everything that happened and gets Hector arrested by the police at his residence. One of Hector's members says that Hector is arrested on suspicion of being a foreign girl visiting their base. Hector's members also intend to eliminate Allison and Emily. Lousy luck befalls Hector's gang. When they are looking for Allison and Emily's residence, the authorities stop them first. The police are suspicious of the appearance of the men, coupled with the ridiculous admission that they get lost in the area. On the other hand, Sam, Toby, and friends are seen getting ready to leave and take out their weapons. That day they plan to wipe out Hector's gang for many things, including harassing Emily. Allison gets word from Eric about Toby and his friends' plan to attack Hector's base. Emily immediately calls Toby to prevent an imminent disaster. Allison fears misunderstandings because Toby doesn't know what's going on. Toby doesn't seem to know and stays true to his beliefs to destroy them. Allison goes to Emily's house and explains what happened at the motel that night. She is honest that Hector does not abuse Emily. The two of them had come to the place of their own accord, and sexual relations that occur based on liking each other. Emily, embarrassed because she lied to her parents, immediately left with sobs on her face. On the other hand, Toby and his friends break into the motel room where Hector's gang is. But there are only mothers and babies who rent rooms. Angrily, Toby asks his friends to leave immediately because of the wrong target. Emily, who is already frustrated, locks herself in the bathroom. Using razors and drugs, she tries to end her life. However, Allison knows her best friend very well and believes Emily will not act rashly. She tries to joke around, and finally, Emily cancels her intention to end her life. Allison apologizes for what she did and whatever happened to them. At a crossroads, Toby, who has just left Hector's motel, meets Hector's accomplices, who the police have just released. And there is a shootout between the two groups. Even though Toby and his friends are quite injured, they manage to win the fight and kill all of Hector's friends. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave likes and comments to help the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.